Hello! Today we will learn about prerequisite programs of HACCP certification. Prerequisite programs are standards regulating basic hygiene conditions to be maintained to produce safe products in food manufacturing sites, and food manufacturers wanting to adopt HACCP should follow them on the preferential basis. Also, prerequisite programs are also mandatory prerequisites to enhance the effectiveness of HACCP system. The prerequisite management standards among food safety management standards require to establish and observe 8 standards including workspace management, hygiene management, production process cooking facility equipment management, refrigeration-freezing facility management, water management, storage transport management, inspection management, and recall program management. Today, we are going to learn about details of each prerequisite program. Workplace management is classified into 4 categories, which are building management, workplace management, subsidiary facility, and external environment management. In accordance with HACCP certification standards, a workplace should be an independent building or isolated from the facilities used as non-food related purposes. Also, a workplace should be sealed to prevent inflow of external pollutants, insects, rodents, etc.
Furthermore, the structure, qualities, and size of the workplace building should be designed and managed to prevent harmful impact on the food products. If you are aware of potential issues, appropriate measures for improvement and management should be prepared. A workplace should be separated and classified considering the characteristics of products and process. In general, considering the working conditions, the areas are classified into general area, semi-sanitized area, and sanitized area. An establishment of semi-sanitized area can be omitted if it is not required considering the characteristics of food products. The inside of workplace is critical since it handles the food and includes a lot of factors such as an entrance, window, lighting, etc. Accordingly, installation purpose and management standards are required. Since a workplace handles and operates various food products, it is important to be composed of relevant qualities. The floor, wall, ceiling, window of the workplace are likely to accumulate dust and food residue. Thus, cleaning and disinfection should be conducted on a regular basis. There are various ways to clean and disinfect, but the easiest method is to clean with water. Thus, it is recommended to have waterproof qualities for all materials used in the workplace. Also, if the manufacturer handles heating facilities or high corrosive products, relevant qualities should be used. In addition, establishing maintenance methods and standards in preparation for deterioration and damage is also an important factor of management. In order to maintain clean workplace, management of drainage and pipe is very important. A workplace should have drains to discharge processed water and cleaning water, and the drain should also maintain smooth status to prevent deposits from being accumulated and facilitate water discharge. Also, the drains and pipes should be equipped with facilities to block harmful insects and rodents from getting in, and must be managed to stop sewage from flowing backward. The workplace entrance should have a buffer area so that it is not connected directly with the outside. Moreover, there should be guidelines on how to wear proper clothes during work, and also must be equipped with cleansing, drying, and disinfection facilities for personal hygiene management. The workers should starting working after eliminating the possibility of pollution by cleansing and disinfection. The movement passages in a workplace should be marked with moving routes and must not have stacks of materials or used for other purposes to prevent cross-contamination and secure escape route in the event of fire. The windows of a workplace are closely related to natural lighting and ventilation. When a window is broken and pieces of glass is scattered, it could get into the product directly or after the scattering, so a food manufacturer should check the qualities of workplace windows to prepare for the situation when a window is destroyed and pieces of glass are scattered. A workplace must have proper lightings for smooth operation. For locations where the raw materials or products are checked with naked eyes, such as selection, inspection, etc., higher than 540 lux illumination intensity is required. The illumination intensity can be differentiated depending on the lighting direction, location of worker, and workstation, so the location of lightings must be adjusted considering the workplace circumstances. Also, since lighting fixtures are made of glass, there should be protection measures to prepare for destruction and scattering. There are subsidiary facilities, such as a dressing room and restroom, and they all require relevant management standards. Other than that, a cafeteria, staff lounge, etc., should have appropriate management standards as long as they can have impact on the products. A dressing room is a place where a worker goes into first before starting to work, so it could be deemed as a first line of defense against food pollution. The purpose of a dressing room is to prevent cross-contamination between regular clothes and disinfected overgarments. Therefore, there should be standards on how to store disinfected overgarments and regular clothes, as well as how to manage a dressing room. A restroom is an essential place but bears the highest risk for pollution. It requires the most strict management. A restroom should be made of materials that are easy to clean and have a separate ventilation facility to discharge internal air to outside. In addition, there should be a hygiene facility for the workers to wash and disinfect their hands after using the restroom. The external environment of a workplace is the first impression of the workplace. Therefore, keeping the outside of workplace clean has a great impact on the hygiene mindset of the workers. Materials surrounding the workplace should be neatly organized and designed to prevent harmful insects. Waste disposal facilities located at the outside of the workplace, such as freight station and disposal plant, could be the source of harmful insect if they are not managed properly. Therefore, there should be standards on the structure, shipping out, cleaning management, disinfection, etc.
The second prerequisite program of HACCP certification, Production Process Cooking Facility Equipment Management, is classified into Facility Layout and Maintenance Management. First of all, a food manufacturing facility should be arranged properly to prevent pollution during the process or maintenance. All food manufacturing plants have various facilities and equipment, depending on their outputs and characteristics of the items.
When arranging the facility, there are many factors to be considered, such as building structure, manufacturing flow, worker movement, etc. The layout should be designed to prevent pollution during movement and facilitate easy maintenance of cleaning and disinfection equipment. The facilities and equipment should be installed with sufficient distance from the wall, floor, and other facilities. If the distance could not be secured inevitably, separate management measures should be prepared. Facilities used for food manufacturing should be made of waterproofing and corrosion-resistant qualities that are not harmful to human body and easy to sterilize and disinfect. Also, facilities that increase or decrease the temperature during the process should have equipment to check target temperature and must check whether the equipment work properly. All facilities used for food manufacturing should be checked regularly, and the results should be reported. Proper monitoring and maintenance of facilities eventually reduces maintenance costs and lengthens the life of the facilities.
Refrigeration and freezing facilities are important to control the temperature of products, and it is recommended to install them at locations where the speed of process is fast.
In general, a refrigeration facility should be managed under 10 degrees Celsius, and a freezing facility should be managed under -18 degrees Celsius below zero. The standards could vary depending on the products. In addition, there should be equipment outside of the facility to monitor the temperature change, to check if the temperature is being managed properly. Temperature perceiving apparatus is recommended to be installed at a place where the temperature is measured the highest.
For a food manufacturer, hygiene is the most important factor, and systematic hygiene management is required for HACCP certification. HACCP has 6 categories in hygiene management. A workplace should be applied with the most strict hygiene management system since it is where food products are manufactured.
Harmful gas, steam, and heat could be occurred inside of the workplace due to the process and activities by the workers. Therefore, a ventilation system is necessary to discharge these factors to outside of the workplace. In addition, filters and screens should be installed on the exhaust pipes connected with the outside to prevent harmful insects from getting in. The workplace of a food manufacturer is greatly impacted by the temperature due to the product characteristics. Therefore, temperature control facilities must be installed to establish and manage temperature criteria by each process, including manufacturing, process, packaging, and storage. If necessary, a humidity management plan is required as well. Moreover, in order to maintain clean hygiene status of the workplace, there should be appropriate cleansing, disinfection measures for entrance, windows, floor, wall, ceiling, drainage, and diverse types of equipment in each area. These management standards could be established considering the characteristics of each manufacturer. Facilities equipment should also have appropriate management standards and maintain clean hygiene status. Cleansing and disinfection measures must be prepared for each hygiene facility, as well as the precautions for operation. Not only the cleanliness of workplace and facility, but also hygiene management of individual workers is very critical. Managing the moving route of workers play a large role in food hygiene because unnecessary movement of workers and indiscreet utilization of workspace could cause product pollution. The food manufacturer should establish moving routes for workers from warehousing of raw materials and subsidiary materials to distribution, and workers should follow the regulations. Off-limit areas in the workplace should be clarified by entrance management and marking the routes, etc. Also, the workers should observe the entrance procedures and clothing standards required by each work process. The entrance procedures refer to guidelines on the order of hygiene process, such as clothing, getting rid of foreign substances, washing and drying hands, etc., and also on moving directions. The guidelines for disinfected overgarments are recommended to be established by each area by articulating the detailed standards for mask, apron, disinfected shoes, etc.
Since a food manufacturing workplace handles food products that can be the feed for harmful insects and rodents, relevant pest control measures should be established considering the possibility of harmful insects and rodents getting into the workplace.
Pest control is not started within the workplace, but starts from the outside for prevention. If harmful insects and rodents are coming from the external environment, their inflow into the workplace should be blocked. They could get into the workplace along with the raw materials, workers, or through small gaps or drains. Thus, continuous management is critical to stop harmful insects and rodents from inhabiting in the workplace. It is difficult to completely block harmful insects and rodents from getting into the workplace, so diverse measures should be prepared within the workplace as well. If there are too many harmful insects getting into the workplace, an insecticide is required to control. Chemical substances could be highly dangerous to food safety. Thus, it is recommended to ask for professional services. Waste and wastewater disposal facilities should be installed and operated at isolated places from the workplace, and the container for waste must be sealed to prevent leak of stench and leachate. Also, The waste must be disposed in accordance with the management plan, and disposal records should be stored.
In the workplace of food manufacturer, water is used for various purposes such as mixing, washing, cleaning, etc. At this time, water supply operated by the government or underground water in accordance with edible water quality standards should be used.
In addition, periodic management of water quality is important. Underground water has possibility of quality change. Thus, it should be checked more than once a year, and the water quality could be changed depending on the weather and environmental issues, which is the reason for self-monitoring on a regular basis is necessary. Moreover, industrialization is followed by problems in the quality of underground water, so it is recommended to install water purifying, sterilization, and disinfection equipment. Some food manufacturers have a water tank for stable water supply. A locking device should be installed to prevent external pollutants from getting in, and hygiene management should be conducted inside as well by regular cleaning and disinfection. Also, if both edible and non-edible water are in the workplace, it should be managed carefully to ensure they are not mixed.
For manufacturing and processing of food products, raw materials are very important. Therefore, continuous management of warehousing, storage, transportation process is critical to use raw materials properly.
First of all, in order to use appropriate raw material, the food manufacturer should check hygiene management status of the suppliers and the examine of raw materials with naked eyes or by using test reports. The food manufacturer should check if the suppliers are observing regulations on process, distribution, etc., and the managed warehouse raw materials by setting the standards to be checked considering the types and characteristics of the raw materials. However, if the supplier is applied with HACCP, it is not required to write or store separate records. During transportation of the products, hygiene management is critical to prevent cross-contamination and inflow of foreign substances. When transporting refrigerated or frozen food, it should be checked whether required refrigeration and freezing temperature is observed. Therefore, temperature recording device is necessary to check the temperature continuously. When storing raw materials, half-finished goods and finished goods, first in, first out principle should be directly followed. Also, when raw materials and finished goods are stored in refrigeration and freezing warehouse, placing the products too closely might cause issues in temperature due to insufficient circulation of the cold air, and leaving the half-finished goods could cause cross-contamination or inflow of foreign substances. Therefore, the products should be stored separately, and it is not recommended to load the products too closely to the wall or on the floor. Also, incongruent products should be kept in a separate place to be reprocessed or discarded in accordance with the established incongruity management standards, and the records must be kept properly. Sometimes, non-edible chemical substances, such as toxic and inflammable substances, are used in a workplace. Improper management of chemical substances leads to big of a threat to consumers by being mixed with the products. Therefore, appropriate storage standards should be established and must be kept at designated places. The place for storage must be well ventilated with separate locking device and safely managed by the manager.
Inspection management is classified into test inspection management and calibration management. Let's look into the contents in detail. Product inspection conducted in a food manufacturer is classified into warehousing, inspection, process production inspection, finished goods inspection, and environment inspection.
In terms of warehousing inspection, The types of harms could vary depending on the types and characteristics of the raw materials, and amount of purchase depends on how much raw material is used. Therefore, the raw material should be managed by setting the standards, including the items to be inspected, appropriate cycle for inspection, etc. The biological hazards of processed products could be increased, maintained, or decreased depending on the waiting time of each process. Also, biological hazards could get in from the external environment. Thus, it is important to check the status of processed goods by inspection. Inspection of finished goods is the last stage to check if the finished products are manufactured properly, and includes inspection based on biological, chemical, and physical standards set by the manufacturer. Not only product inspection, but also environment inspection is essential to check whether facilities, workers, environment of workplace have any harmful impact on the product. There are representative environment inspection, such as airborne bacteria inspection and surface pollution inspection, to check the propriety of cleansing disinfection period for workplace and facilities, and surface pollution inspection to check propriety of replacement period for disinfected overgarments worn by the workers.
And one more thing. All inspections conducted in a food manufacturer should have detailed records of following contents. As much as product inspection is important, inspection of scales, thermometers, water gauges, etc. used in the workplace is also critical.
It is required to check the types and quantity of measuring instruments used in the workplace, and there should be certain standards to determine whether those instruments are operating properly, as well as how to recover the instruments to normal status when they are out of order. Monitoring the status could be conducted by asking for professional services to external agencies, or using certified equipment is also acceptable. Food manufacturers can establish appropriate standards considering the workplace circumstances.
The most emergent situation in a food manufacturer is when a recall is required because product deviations are identified in released products. If the issues concern potential harms to the consumer's health, the recall should take place rapidly and accurately before the consumers take the products. A food manufacturer should be prepared for these situations by establishing systematic standards on recall, decision-making process, recall process, contact points for recall, etc. And conducting an exercise on a regular basis is also critical to rapidly cope with emergencies. Until now, we have learned about the prerequisite programs of HACCP. Since HACCP is established based on trust, the prerequisite programs are very strict and systematic. It could seem rather difficult to you now, but if you have the will to produce healthy food that consumers can trust, meeting the prerequisites might not be as hard as you think. Thank you.